Have you ever watched something with over 1100 episodes? If you haven't, this is a good way to get watching it. Watching things like that, and I know it's a lot of your time, a lot of energy that can go into watching as many episodes as 1000. So I'm not going to try to force it on y'all, but sitting down and actually getting into those kinds of forms of entertainment also helps with patience and everything else like that as well. I'll tell you a little bit about One Piece, like what it is, because I don't know if anybody who is listening to this speech knows what One Piece is. So, One Piece is a Japanese manga and anime series created by Oda in like 30 years ago. It's really old manga, but it's still running to this day. It follows the adventures of our protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy, a young pirate who can stretch his body up to hundreds of meters at a time. And the reason why he can't do that is because he ate a fruit called gum fruit. Luffy dreams of becoming king of the pirates and conquering all seas in his universe, because I'll get into a little bit of that later. But his world has, I think, 7 seas, also like ours, but they're like more vast because the world of One Piece is, I think, 10 times bigger than Earth's, because that's just how the mangaka made it. One Piece can be so interesting to actually get into because One Piece has multiple different people, and its diversity, its humor, and its long duration. If you actually take the time and try to watch a few episodes at a time, you can see the diversity of each character, how each character is so much different from the other. It's like, it's not super serious all the time like most animes now. You have moments where you can laugh and you can joke around with the characters as well, and it just allows you to have kind of like a breath of fresh air from all the other entertainment you consume in your daily life. Also, the characters that you meet in this series are super complex. Even some of the side characters that you meet throughout arcs, because there are 1000 episodes, so I think there's around 14 different arcs in the series. So each arc introduces many different characters, and each character in itself is complex in its own way. You just have to sit down and try to understand each one of them, but it doesn't really make it that hard to understand because it's kind of in your face. One Piece's complexity is not a weakness in the series in the slightest. It's actually its main strength and why I like it personally, because whenever I sit down, I don't, well, some people might like that, but kind of want to forget about everything, be empty-headed. But whenever I consume entertainment or consume media in my daily life, I would like to be entertained, but also like stimulated, and that's one thing that One Piece really brings to the forefront. Its I can't say that word. I don't know why I'm struggling, but its complexity of multiple storylines is actually among One Piece's best aspects, although some might think otherwise because it is so long and it does take a little bit, well, not a little bit, it takes a lot of its time, but it also helps you understand the story a lot better than other mangakas, because they speed through other side plots and storylines so much faster than One Piece were to. Each saga contains multiple fights, and it always still has that action aspect, but it also gives you the emotional, the humor, the satire that you need in order to actually sit there and be like, I'd want to continue this until the end. It actually still is running, so as far as I know, there is no end for a few years. its world building is also one of the aspects why I fell in love with One Piece, as I said earlier. One Piece is probably one of the biggest worlds that I have seen in an anime because it is so big. It has sorry, I have to count. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seas. It has a red belt going around it, and it has thousands of islands. As I said, it is 10 times bigger than Earth, and so each pirate on the ship goes to each island at least one time. So the adventures never end; they are ongoing still, and each arc is a different island. Each island could be different as well. It's not like, oh, you're in tropical islands and then all the way across the world is snow island. It's like they're neighbors and they're like on the same sea. So it's really hard to comprehend. Sometimes I'm like, well, you just came from a spring island, now you're in winter. So it can be a little confusing, but it's also really fun and what makes the story interesting, in my opinion. Also, its power system. Its power system is one of the things that I haven't really seen in anime. It's also really unique with devil fruits and everything like that. It is kind of leaning into that supernatural ability, but it's also like they get their power from eating a fruit, and that fruit takes away their power to swim, and it also doesn't allow them sometimes, not all the time, to not gain any other powers other than that. But it also creates creativity among the story, like with our main character. His power is gum, so like he can stretch. Others is like hito. Others are hito is, I always forget, but I think it's human, and an animal ate it, so it turned him into a humanoid creature. And so it really does allow for creativity in a lot more aspects of the plot, basically. The longevity, as you know, well, as I said earlier, the show does have 1,000 episodes. It is still ongoing, so it has a long way to go as well. So its longevity is not in question, or what was I gonna say? Its longevity is not in question, and it's still ongoing. It's still interesting. It's still thriving, and it's still on the top of a lot of mangakas as of today. Its cultural impact that reaches far beyond Japan, having been translated into languages and gaining international fan base. So it has a lot of other cultural aspects of America, or New Mexico, of Europe, everywhere across the earth, because it allows it to adapt to its fan base a little bit more and wants to bring those aspects into its storytelling. In conclusion, One Piece is not just an anime. It's a tapestry of storytelling and combines adventure with professional life lessons by exploring themes of friendship, ambition, struggle against adversity. It resonates with viewers of all ages. My goal with this speech is to share why One Piece deserves a place in your viewing lineup, or your Netflix lineup, because it is also on Netflix. Whether you're a seasoned anime fan or someone who just likes the genre of humor, comedy, like friendship, adventure, it really is for you, and I hope you give it a shot.